A fourth straight Victory Monday is here, and of course, it is Overreaction Monday here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. The Bears are 4-2. It is a great day to be a Bears fan, but there is plenty more to discuss this morning now that we've had almost 24 hours to digest the win over the New Orleans Saints. And first, I do want to thank you guys so much. Round of applause to the Bears Now faithful. We crossed 135,000 subscribers on the channel yesterday. That is a testament to you and your loyalty to this team and to this program. So we greatly appreciate it. Producer Cullen does as well. If you want the win streak to continue, sub for Bears Dubs. This team's vibing right now. Let's freaking go. All right, Overreaction Monday. Is it time to worry about the quarterback, Caleb Williams? I'm just going to go one Smokin' J. And again, the Smokin' J meters from 0 all the way up to 4. 4 would be full panic mode. I'm only going to go 1. Listen, I'm not going to blow smoke and act like yesterday was a good performance. It was not. He was not very good. There were a couple plays where his teammates could have helped him out. Rome on that scramble drill one could have caught one. I thought there might have been a play to either Burden or someone else where a play could have been made. But listen, he was not very good yesterday. He was inaccurate. I thought he was trying to run around too much and make too many things happen. And on a few of those when he ran around, it's like, hey, just scramble for 5 or 6 yards. That's perfectly fine. That should be a part of your arsenal. He's not Justin Fields where you need to intentionally run him, but it's okay to scramble 4 or 5 times a game. He wasn't very good. I thought he was trying to do too much. Luckily, he only turned the ball over once, where his opponent turned it over 4 times. And in a game where he played poorly, at least for the most part, he took care of the football. But again, it was not a great day for the quarterback. But that doesn't mean he's not going to be a good player. That doesn't mean he hasn't had good and even great games in the NFL, but it wasn't a great game. And here's why, more than anything else, and I said this a little bit last night when we talked about how good this coaching staff is, why I'm not too worried about Caleb Williams right now. I trust Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson told us from the beginning there's going to be bumps in the road, that progress with the quarterback is not going to be linear. Now, over the course of the season, if it's like this, but you see it slowly elevate, that is tangible progress over the course of time, but you're not going to play better the next game every single week forever. If you did that, you'd be the greatest quarterback of all time. If Patrick Mahomes from start 1 to start 100, whatever it is now, got literally better every single game, played better every game, he'd never lose. But that's not how this works. So, and I'm not saying Caleb's Patrick Mahomes. I'm just using one of many good examples out there. Yesterday was not a great performance, but hey, when you're having bumps in the road and you're still able to win a game by 12 points when your quarterback doesn't play that well, that makes me excited. The run game is working. We're going to talk about the identity of this team coming up in a second. And look, PSA to Bears fans about Caleb Williams and those calling for Tyson Bagent. Number one, this team has won 4 games in a row, okay? We're not benching the quarterback. That's number one. Number two, everybody wants to develop a quarterback, and then when it's time to develop a quarterback, after a couple of bad showings, get him out of there. And number three, you're getting him out of there for Tyson Bagent, who is still developing and we don't know a ton about. I like Tyson Bagent. I think there's a world where he can start in this league. But guys, please, we have to be a little patient here. If this team was 1-5 and Caleb's been terrible all year, that's a different conversation. He hasn't been terrible all year. Has he been great? No. Has he looked great at times? Yes. Has he looked bad at times? Also, yes. We're 6 games into this marriage with Ben Johnson. The team's won 4 in a row. Other areas of the team are playing well. Let's see if Caleb can develop and continue to improve. We have to give this time. And one last thing on those calling for Bagent. And look, maybe down the road that'll look like the right call. I'm nowhere near saying that, but what's the best case scenario with Tyson Bagent? Brock Purdy, is that the best case scenario? And again, I like Brock Purdy, nice player, but if that's the best case scenario, what are we seeing right now in San Francisco? We're seeing Mac Jones give the Niners about 85% of what Brock Purdy does. And he's making $3-4 million a year. Brock Purdy's making 53. Brock Purdy, high floor, mid ceiling quarterback. Caleb Williams, mid floor, very high ceiling quarterback. I'm chasing the high ceiling here. 20-ish, 22 starts in, whatever it is. I'm not bailing on that. They're winning games. Give this time, please. And listen, I'm not saying it's going to be a home run and work out, but we've seen enough good things. We've seen enough progress, I still think, from start 1 to start 6 this year that let's see this play out a little bit. They're winning games. It's, again, if they were 1-5, 0-6 or something like that, like, different conversation. But I'm not bailing on the quarterback. We see the potential. I think he's got to get back to what he was actually doing really well earlier in the season, which play within the structure and then bail when you have to. I thought he bailed too often yesterday. Trust that the offense works, because we know that guys get open in this offense. Okay, are you willing to be patient with Caleb's development? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think some patience is required here. I understand he didn't play well yesterday, but, like, isn't this, like, so, like, textbook of a starving fan base? We've won 4 games in a row, and we're still finding the one thing to not be happy about. I'm pretty happy that the team's 4-2 right now. All right, are the Bears establishing an identity? 4 smoking Jays. Bear down. They absolutely are. I think the identity they have right now and the identity they probably were looking for at the start of training camp and wanted to be physical toughness and running the football. Obviously, again, to get back to the Caleb part, you want him to eventually get to the point where he's a big part of why the reason you're winning. But you're winning, especially these last couple of games, not in spite of him. I thought he made a lot of good plays against Washington, but without him playing at an elite level. Why? Because you're physical as hell on both sides of the football, especially now that you found the run game. The defense has been there for about a month, and you're finding success on the ground. I mean, this coaching staff, which we talked about last night, what they've done since the bye week, what Dennis has done with the defense really since that Detroit game has been fantastic. You look at the run game, I mean, these last 2 weeks, they've gone from one of the worst running games in the NFL, literally, to, I haven't looked at the numbers for every team the last 2 weeks. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better rushing attack the last 2 weeks in the NFL. Maybe the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's been incredible, but other than that, this running attack has been awesome. DeAndre Swift, first back-to-back 100-yard rushing games as a Chicago Bear. Like, open lanes, decisiveness. They're pulling. They're leaning into the outside zone. Colston Loveland, I get it. He's been quiet as a receiving tight end. He's pancaking guys in the run game. Like, these tight ends, Cole Kmet, who we'll get to some injury stuff too, he's been blocking his ass off. Like, this offensive line, is almost flipped in a sense. The pass pro was better the first month. In the last 2 weeks, the run blocking's been better. But, hey, they want to run the football, and they're doing it with Swift. Kyle Monangai had his breakout game yesterday as well. I want to continue to see him get involved. 13 carries. It's a good number for him. 10, 12, 15 carries. Like, I like that number. Keep Swift in that 15 to 18 number as well. If this team can run the ball 30 times per week, that's fine with me. I'm no issue with this team being an effective run game first offensively, and that's the big misconception about a Ben Johnson offense. They ran the football at an elite level in Detroit, and that's what he wanted to do. It sets up the play action off of it, and that's where you generate the explosives in the pass game. But Detroit was a run-first team with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They just also had really good receivers and a really good quarterback in Jared Goff, so they were very balanced, and that's what we're hoping to get to. When this thing all gels at once, because earlier in the season, Caleb was carrying the offense with the pass game. Last few weeks, the run game. Like, if this thing starts to gel, you're talking about an offense that can be one of the best in the NFL. It's not hyperbolic to say. The coaching's there. The offensive line is doing its part. You're now running the football. Let's get the pass game back on track, and this offense can be really, really special. But getting back to that physicality, a big part of the defense. I mean, did you guys see the defense yesterday? Not just the turnovers. How many times, especially in the first half, is Spencer Rattler dumping the ball off, and they're just lighting people up? I mean, Alvin Kamara might want to retire after yesterday. He was getting destroyed. He was getting destroyed in pass pro. He was getting destroyed catching the ball on checkdowns. They are stuffing the run all of a sudden when they couldn't stop a nosebleed on the ground the first few weeks of the season. Dennis Allen is doing a hell of a job. And he's doing it without one of the best corners in the league in Jalen Johnson, without an elite pass rusher. He's manufacturing pressure, which we talked about on our video last night. I really recommend you go watch it, by dialing up different blitzes, different looks. He's bringing Jaquan Brisker on pressures. He's bringing Kyler Gordon on pressures. He's rotating coverages on the back end. Like, he's coaching his ass off, and these teams are feeding off his energy, and these players are feeding off his energy. It's really, really fun to watch this defense fly around. Are they going to get 4 takeaways every week? Of course not. Like, eventually that's going to slow down a little bit, but takeaways can be contagious. Energy can be contagious. That is one thing they can control every week, and this team is absolutely flying around defensively, and they are hitting people hard. Over 60 minutes, that really carries weight. You get to the end of these games, and, Alvin Kamara, he's not looking for contact anymore. I can promise you that. All right, more to discuss, especially on the injury front. A couple of key players did leave yesterday's game. We'll talk about that. But first, we got to tell you about our awesome sponsor, Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Got a little 4-player lineup tonight that I'm going to tell you guys about. Got to get back on track. I've missed a few lineups in a row here. I've been hot. Now I've cooled off a bit, but beauty of Prize Picks, and with our deal, get an additional $50 in lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. Here's what I've got tonight. David Montgomery. Dan Campbell came out and said, we want to run the football with him specifically more. They've been a little Jahmyr Gibbs heavy the last few weeks, so I took more on David Montgomery's 46.5 rushing yards. I also took more on Mike Evans' receiving yards. That receiver core is beat up. He should get a lot of targets tonight. C.J. Stroud took less on his passing yards, 225.5. Seattle defense has played better recently. And then Sam Darnold, goblin play, more than half a passing touchdown. Really like that as well. 4-player lineup. That's the way Prize Picks works. Pick more, pick less on player stat projections of at least 2-player lineups. And if you hit, you win money. It's as simple as that. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. All right, should we be concerned about the injuries as, kind of felt like they were starting to get healthy. Now a couple key guys go down, Tyrique Stevenson, Cole Kmet. 3 smoking Jays. It's definitely notable. I mean, the 2 guys that went down yesterday, as of now, and I'll check my phone again, don't see an update as we're filming here. But if Tyrique Stevenson and or Cole Kmet miss significant time, like, those are 2 real players. Those are starters. Let's start with Stevenson, who has really stepped up since Jalen Johnson's gone down. I think this is probably the best stretch of his career, certainly since the second half of his rookie year when he played his tail off as well. But he left yesterday's game with a shoulder injury, did not return. Those can be tricky situations. Obviously you hope it's not a dislocation. If he separated it, can he wrap it and play? Does he have to miss a couple of weeks? We don't know the diagnosis, so I'm sure they're undergoing more testing this morning at Hallis Hall. But you're getting pretty thin at corner. I mean, yesterday when Nahshon Wright missed a couple plays, you were down to a unit of, I think, Kyler Gordon, Nick McLeod, and Josh Blackwell. I mean, and Gordon's having to play outside. He can do that, but obviously you want him at the nickel. This is a real thing. Now, Nahshon Wright came back, so that was good, and I thought he played pretty well yesterday. But Tyrique Stevenson has played, not like an all-pro, but I would say like a pretty decent CB1. Certainly an excellent CB2, but he's been this team's top corner the last month plus, and he's played like a really, really good player. He's played like a guy you would be comfortable extending after this season if he were to keep up this level of play. So, fingers crossed, prayer circle, whatever you want to say. You really hope this isn't a serious injury, because if he goes down too, I mean, you got problems at the outside corner position. I was already told last week, and I did a full video about this, that the Bears were already sniffing around the corner market before Tyrique got injured yesterday. So if he's set to miss really any time at all, I'd say anything more than a game, you're going to have to make a move, whether it's bringing a veteran off the street, whether it's poach someone off the practice squad, whether it's trading for someone. These were 5 players we talked about. Riq Woolen and the Seahawks play tonight. I was talking to our producer, Cullen, who's a Seahawks fan, before the show. If Seattle plays well, Woolen doesn't play tonight, and their corners are healthy, if I'm the Bears, I'm making a call tomorrow, and I'm seeing what it takes to get Riq Woolen off that team. I don't know how high I'd go, but I'd be pretty interested. Alontae Taylor got a little nicked up yesterday, but I think he came back in the game for the Saints. Rasul Douglas, Dolphins keep losing. You would think he's available. Deonte Banks is horrible, so I don't think he really helps much, but he's available. Riley Moss has been up and down. Would Denver trade him? I'm not sure. our Broncos host seems to think they would consider it. But some guys I discussed on that video, if you want to check it out. But, Riq Woolen, it's been reported for weeks now that he could be had. Free agent corners, Stephon Gilmore, James Bradbury, Asante Samuel Jr. Bradbury doesn't really interest me much. Gilmore, thought he played okay last year. If you told me he was in shape, would I come work him out? I'd at least work him out, see what he looks like. Asante Samuel Jr., he's supposed to have a medical check this month. We're on October 20th now. The report was mid-October, so I'm not sure if that has happened. He had a neck surgery. If he's cleared, I'd work him out immediately. And if he has a good workout, I'd sign him because you are thin at corner right now. And if Tyrique is set to miss time, you have to add a corner. Even if it's just some depth piece, like you just simply don't have enough bodies at this point to suit up for a game. So this is a big one to watch over the next 24, 48, 72 hours as the Bears get ready to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Cole Kmet also exited yesterday's game with what was labeled as a back injury. I'm not as worried about this one for a couple reasons. One, Kmet's never missed a game in his career. At least I don't think he has. He's exited a couple, but I don't think he's ever missed a start. So that's number one. He's tough as hell. You know he's going to play if he has a chance to. Like, look, if there's a fracture in his back, he'd probably miss some time. But other than that, you would think he'd be good to go. The other reason I'm not too concerned, even though you only have 3 tight ends on the 53, number one, I mentioned it earlier, Colston Loveland's been blocking his ass off. You feel good about him in the run game, and I still think that breakout game as a receiving tight end is coming. And Durham Smythe has played a notable role on this team. He's blocking really well. I like what he's provided. I think you can get by with a Loveland-Smythe 1-2 punch for a few weeks. Now, if it were season ending, you'd probably have to go sign somebody. But if it's, 1-2 weeks or something, I think you can get by. You also have Steven Carlson, a vet, on the practice squad. I also saw some Nikola Kalinick guy. Never heard of him. Apparently, he's on the practice squad now. So you've got some guys you could elevate for game day if you got stuck in a pinch. Carlson, I think they already did that for one game earlier this year. So you'd feel comfortable with him on a Sunday if he has to go in there, block for 10 or 15 plays. So I'm not as worried about the Kmet one, A, due to his durability history, but B, I think you can get by, especially if it's a week to week, not a month plus injury or something like that. What is the bigger injury concern to you? If you think it's Tyrique Stevenson type TS, Cole Kmet type CK, to me it's clearly Stevenson. I mean, he has stepped up in a major way since Jalen Johnson has gone down. So fingers crossed that that one is not too serious and that he can get back here and play soon, if not this week. All right, that's going to do it for Overreaction Monday. We'll be live this afternoon, Victory Monday, 4 o'clock Central Time. More content here. Might look ahead to the Ravens. I don't know if we'll preview that game today. Might wait till tomorrow or Wednesday, but I got to turn the page here quick. Baltimore at 1-5, getting some key guys back. They're going to be a desperate team this upcoming Sunday, coming off the bye week. So big test for this Bears football team. My name is Harrison Graham. Subscribe, and we'll see you this afternoon.